And all eyes have been once again on Xavi and Barcelona and his future after what he had to say earlier on in the week. The club conveyed calmness in me. I have the same desire and ambition as ever for these remaining 2 games and for next season. We have a project. Calmness is the message. I understand the ecosystem around the club, but all the noise doesn't change anything. It doesn't interest me when the reports come from. What interests me is the president's confidence remains intact, as does Deco's. Now, for more on this, Alex joins us. And of course, the reason that Xavi felt that he had to address what's going on in the media over this week is that very honest statement that he gave about how far they are behind Real Madrid with regards to finances and the ability to bring in these top players to the squad. Since then, that just seemed to spark a whole rumour mill about whether or not Xavi was in fact going to get sacked. Joan Laporte not happy. And this calmness rhetoric that Xavi's trying to sell is something that we know is very difficult for someone like Laporta to buy at the moment.
Yeah, it's Groundhog Day, isn't it, Dan? Really, it's hard to believe that here we are again talking about Xavi's future. It was less than a month ago we were talking about Xavi. You know, this U-turn, changing his mind, staying at Barcelona. There was this celebratory sushi dinner at Laporta's house. Everything was so positive. And here we are, like I say, less than a month later. All of these reports and speculation and talk that Xavi might be on the way out again, because, as you say, quite simply, he was too honest, really, in this press conference the other day, being realistic, I think, and not really saying anything that we hadn't heard before, saying that given by Barca's financial situation, it's going to be difficult for them to compete next season. They will do their best, they'll give it their all, but like I say, being realistic about the situation that the club is in, and that didn't go down too well. By all reports, with Joan Laporta, when they made the decision that Xavi was going to stay, like I say, just under a month ago, our understanding is that part of the terms of that was that they sort of agreed, look, let's be positive, let's be optimistic about next season, let's believe in the squad that we've got here, let's believe in this project. And the feeling is that what Xavi said in this press conference this week kind of undermines that message. And I have to say, felt a bit sorry for Xavi coming out today, giving today's press conference ahead of Barca's game on Sunday. You read some of the quotes there talking about a need for calm, which would, badly needed a Barcelona, a bit of calm. But yeah, you felt a bit sorry for him because it's kind of an embarrassing situation for Xavi to be in, because don't forget, the reason that Xavi said he was going in the first place, that he was going to leave at the end of the season, was because he was fed up with all of this, with all of these reports and speculation and leaks and people from within the club and close to the club talking about a lack of confidence in him. That was why he wanted to go in the first place. The hope was that they'd put all that behind them. And of course, this is still Barcelona. The people involved are still the same. Nothing has really changed. And here we are again. We don't know what's going to happen. Xavi's certainly saying, as far as he's concerned, nothing has changed. But certainly our understanding is that there has been discussion and debate within the club and around Laporta over Xavi's future based on the events of the last few days. So it's a huge mess. It's embarrassing, I think, for Barcelona, for Xavi. It doesn't seem like a particularly serious way to be running a football club of this magnitude, having these constant changes from one direction to the other, from week to week almost. You know, we often talk about a managerial merry-go-round, don't we? That normally involves more than one manager. This is just one. This is just Xavi coming and going and coming and going. And it's not a way to do business. It's hard to know how you can plan for the future and plan for next season with so much uncertainty.
It's like my dog chasing his tail. Oh. Right. So, Alex, what is interesting about this, and you made a brilliant point there, is what Xavi said wasn't particularly explosive. It was just quite honest. No. And this is the first little speed bump that we've had since he announced he was staying. What happens when it gets even worse? This can only end in disaster, can't it?
I mean, it makes you think that this kind of truce is incredibly fragile.
Yeah.
And whatever this sort of agreement, this bargain that they struck a couple of weeks ago in terms of moving forward together, like I say, it makes it look like the foundations for that were not very solid, because it hasn't taken much. It's simply taken a few weeks when, things haven't been fantastic on the pitch. I guess the season winding down with not much to play for. Yes, it looks like they are at least going to finish second in La Liga behind Real Madrid. But yeah, just simply Xavi pretty much stating the obvious, I think. And we've had some discussion this season about Xavi's lots of his press conferences. Does he handle the press in the right way, and does he give the right kind of message. And yeah, Laporta, of course, we know he's sort of bombastic and positive, and he wants to kind of sell a more positive vision of the future. But this was really Xavi. It's just a statement of facts, I think, from Xavi. But yeah, like I say, basically it suggests that even if they had agreed to go forward together as things are, that just below the surface, all of the problems that were there previously, of course, they haven't gone away.
Barca fans must be so miserable at the moment. You're going to the Montjuic, that's horrible. The Camp Nou's behind schedule. Real Madrid in the Champions League final. And they got Kylian Mbappe joining them next season.
Yeah, it's not a great time to be a Barca fan, is it? Because, like you say, as always with Barcelona and Real Madrid, sort of the health of one is judged in contrast to the health of the other. And things at Real Madrid couldn't be any healthier. As you say, they've just celebrated the league title. They're in the Champions League final, the favourites to win that. Mbappe is on the way. And, you've got Carlo Ancelotti, a hugely popular figure at Real Madrid, who everybody is behind and everybody loves. And then at Barcelona, it's a very different story. So, yeah, that only makes things worse. And we know that in terms of building that project for the future, in terms of the summer, in terms of what Barcelona can do in the transfer market compared to Real Madrid, they are still, as they have been for a few years now, they are still really quite limited. And that's another flashpoint, I guess, in terms of building the squad, the kind of players that Xavi might want. The understanding is that Xavi doesn't always see eye to eye with Deco, the sporting director, and Laporta in terms of players coming in terms of players leaving. So, yeah, it's quite an unhealthy combination all round, I guess.
Alex, thank you very much. It was, of course, the penultimate round of matches tomorrow in La Liga. You can see them all on ESPN+. They all kick off at 1 p.m.